All right, so Martin, we wanted to get into the NFL draft with you. Obviously, the NFL draft is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be unique, a virtual draft. Guys are going to be at home. Do you think it's still going to be as entertaining for fans to watch?
I think it really depends on the mindset of the fan, if you like. I think if you're the kind of person to sit there and be like, oh, look, this is going to be different to normal, and as a result of that, it's going to be terrible, then sure, you're not going to get anything out of it. But I think we're all changing, aren't we? We're all sort of adapting to these times. And certainly from my own standpoint, I'm appreciative of the things that are giving it a go and trying to adapt and trying to find a way to get things done despite the realities and the necessities of this time that we live in. And of course, it's going to be incredibly different to normal, right? There's not going to be any glitz and glamour and any big fancy venue in Las Vegas like there would have been. There's not going to be Roger Goodell there on a stage shaking hands and getting booed by everyone and all that kind of stuff that we've come to expect and enjoy. But it's still a draft. 255 players are still going to be selected. You know, fans around the country are still going to pin their hopes and dreams to a certain extent on some of these players, some of whom are going to become superstars, many of whom are not, some of whom probably won't even play a minute in the league. But I like it. I think in a way it's kind of cool. Like, I play fantasy football. In some ways, these GMs maybe have to deal with some of the realities that we have to deal with every year. Spotty internet connection and distraction, the dog barking in the background and all that kind of stuff. I love that idea in a way. Look, would you want it to be this way every single year? No. But for a one-off, because the necessities of this time, I think it's great, and I think more people will watch the draft this year than ever before because, hey, what else have we got to do?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you, and I hope that we're over sort of this shaming thing where we're going to shame the NFL for doing this in the middle of this pandemic. Look, the fact of the matter is we have to deal with this, but life goes on. So I, for one, am also glad. I know all the guys are glad that they're doing this. And I'm with you also where I love the idea of seeing, some of these guys in their basements. I want to see what Jay Gruden's home office looks like. You know what I mean? Like I'm a voyeur in that way. So I'm going to love that. My question is, how is like ESPN and NFL, how the NFL channel, how are they going to handle it? Because some of these broadcast news networks, they have a lot of their anchors broadcasting from home, but they do such a great job with their lighting and their cameras and everything that you can't even tell. Like, they're doing an amazing job. Are they going to have that? Like, it might still be amazing. Or are they going to do a deal where they have Kuiper and whoever's doing it with them, like 6 feet away and still in the same studio? Do we have any idea how it's going to be covered?
Yeah, I don't know 100% on that. But here's the thing: the places, and this goes for sports organizations, and this goes for broadcasters and everything. The places that thrive or at least survive during this time are the ones that show the greatest level of sort of innovation and adaptability. And obviously the people who are doing the
Right.
draft are professionals who know how to roll with the punches, right? And it's not different. It's not the same as normal, and the fans can't expect it to look exactly the same. But as ESPN have shown, and as we at Fox Sports have shown, you can still put on a really good show. And is it just about the lighting and the backdrop and all this kind of stuff? No, it's about the quality of the people you have, about their knowledge base, and if they know what they're talking about. And obviously, you'd expect for something like the NFL draft that there would be. And you can't expect it to purely aesthetically look the same. But is it going to sound the same to a certain extent? Sure. Obviously a lot of the draft stuff isn't just live. There are packages that are put together
Right.
Ahead of time that involve key players and stuff like that. And I'm sure that part of it is going to be even more important this time around. So, look, I think, honestly speaking, I think the difference part of it is something that we'll get used to within the first 5 minutes. And then it'll just start to kind of feel normal.
We're joined by Martin Rogers from Fox Sports, at @MRogersFox on Twitter. Check out his article on foxsports.com. This unique virtual 2020 NFL draft is still the draft we know and love,
with a fantasy twist. I know I'm looking forward to seeing Dave Gettleman, the GM of the Giants, sitting at number 4, struggling with technology. He gets goofed on by all the analytical guys. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm also looking forward to seeing if Tua slips. You know, there's buzz now that he could fall out of the top 5, you know, down towards 10 or 12, and maybe the Raiders try to move up and get him if the slide begins on him. So I think even though we're going to be thrown off by the look of this draft, I think there are still some good storylines. There are going to be some fun things to watch.
100%, there's some great storylines, like there always are. And honestly, what you said at the beginning, like about Gettleman or whoever it is, there's probably going to be something like that, right? There could be some kind of, technical mess up, or someone does something a little bit different how they normally would because they're not in that comfort zone of being in a war room surrounded by a huge team of people. They're just there separated in their own houses. And look, that's what I am so intrigued by here, because this is the reality of modern life, right? Like hundreds of thousands of people across the country have to deal with this kind of thing, dealing with things at home, working from home, as opposed to working from an office with the safety net that kind of provides. So in that way, the NFL draft, it's a kind of nice, refreshing thing to know that the NFL, for all its money, is not untouched by the same kind of thing that everyone else has to go through. In terms of storylines, yeah, absolutely. I think Tua is going to be the overwhelming storyline of the draft, because literally anything could happen. You could see someone just take an absolute flyer onto and just sort of mortgage their future to move up and get him. Because here's the thing, it's a sort of player who has the ability to be a transcendent talent, and then there's all these red flags and sort of risk factors that involve the injury that he had as well. So I think he could land in a number of different spots. He could land in a high position, not going to go number 1, could land in a high position in the top 5, could also drop significantly, as we've seen. And when quarterbacks start to tumble, as we've seen it in the past, sometimes it's a little bit of a free fall. But I think the Raiders are a very intriguing one. They're a team that wants to make a splash. Remember, they were linked to Tom Brady just purely, but for no other reason. People are like, they have to make some kind of big impact. Now, getting Tua would be a pretty good way to do that, wouldn't it?